Disney dropped a trailer for another upcoming film for Toy Story, which is a franchise that many people love for its message about friendship, loyalty, and acceptance. At least in some of the films. However, in the 5th installment to the Toy Story film, it seems to be different compared to the other previous films, as it seems to be about electronic devices. Specifically, tablets now getting more attention by children instead of the toys, and the toys must work together to take down the tablet. I get that this movie is supposed to be similar to those iPad kids that we see nowadays, because let's be for real, they are annoying. But we need to ask ourselves, do we really need a Toy Story 5? Because I myself have some thoughts on it. Let's take a look at the trailer and break it down. Obviously, everything takes place after the events of Toy Story 4. We see Forky now getting married to the Knife Lady. I actually don't remember the name of the character, sadly. But yeah, I hardly ever pay attention, especially since I only saw Toy Story 4 like once. However, the playtime is interrupted when Bonnie receives a tablet called LilyPad, and I think we can already see where this film is going. Bonnie now becomes an iPad kid, and this becomes a threat to all of the toys since Bonnie is seen barely playing with the toys as she is more interested in the tablet. Yeah. But also Woody comes back, yay! But he has a bald spot now. I'm assuming they are going to use that as a form of humor in the film, but I'm at least happy to see that Woody is now back in the series again since he left his friends in the 4th installment. I'm assuming he's also coming back to also put a stop to LilyPad since we're now set that the tablet is an antagonist in the film. So, yeah. After watching the trailer, I think it's time to share my thoughts on what I think of this movie. I'm kind of mixed on it for a few reasons. First off, Toy Story has had a long history of making sequels, prequels, etc. And it's a pretty popular franchise, I will say. If anything, I would say that Toy Story 3 had a really good ending to the series, and I, along with probably most people, consider this to be the perfect ending for Toy Story. That would be until Toy Story 4 came out. Now, I don't think that Toy Story 4 is terrible, but it definitely felt unnecessary. It changed Woody's ending from loyal leader who stays with his friends to independent toy who leaves to find himself. Some people loved that. Some people hated it. Either way, it felt like a second ending, but for me, I just feel like it didn't need to be made. At some point, you have to ask, are we continuing the story because there's something meaningful left to say? Or are we continuing it because it makes more money? And that's not even me trying to be cynical, it's just realistic. Toy Story is one of Disney and Pixar's biggest brands. It sells tickets, it sells merch, it sells nostalgia, but nostalgia only works if it feels earned. My biggest concern with Toy Story 5 is that the technology is bad message feels kind of obvious. Like, are we really doing the screens are ruining kids plot in 2026? That conversation has already been happening for, I guess, years now, I guess. It almost feels like the movie is reacting to something instead of discovering something new. But at the same time, there is potential here. Because Toy Story has never just been about toys. It's about purpose, it's about feeling replaced, it's about growing up and realizing the world moves on without you. And honestly, that theme might hit harder now than ever. Woody dealing with irrelevance in a digital world, that could actually be powerful. The toys questioning whether they still matter, that could feel very real, especially to adults watching who feel like the world has changed around them. So, do we need Toy Story 5? From a storytelling standpoint, probably not. Toy Story 3 was a perfect ending. Toy Story 4 already reopened the book. And every time you reopen a finished story, you risk weakening what made it special in the first place. But from a cultural standpoint, maybe. If this movie leans into the emotional side of change instead of just making the tablet the evil villain, then it might actually say something meaningful about modern childhood. If it's just technology bad, toys good, then yeah, it might feel like a cash grab. At the end of the day, I don't hate the idea of Toy Story 5, I'm just cautious. Because this franchise means something to a lot of people. It's not just another sequel, it's part of our childhood, and when you keep adding chapters to something that already feels complete, you better make sure you're adding depth, not just runtime. So to conclude, do we really need Toy Story 5? Maybe not. But I guess we'll find out if we wanted it all along once the film releases on June 19th. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, and if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss any more of my future content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye everyone!